Welcome to Barbie Land, a place where girls rule the world, do all the important stuff, while men chill on the beach and have fun.
Awesome!
Story follows stereotypical Barbie, or how I like to call her, the hot Barbie. She has a perfect life, everything is great, but all that crap is interrupted by an existential crisis. Now, in order to figure it out, she has to go to the real world and meet the girl who's playing with her. So Barbie goes to Los Angeles and she's accompanied by the stereotypical Ken. I'm gonna call him the Simp Ken.
Simp.
Out there in LA, Barbie finds out that the real world kinda sucks cause it's ruled by men.
Duh!
Or in the words of James Brown,
This is a man's world!
so while Barbie is looking for her owner, Ken learns about this cool thing called patriarchy that lets men be treated with respect and get whatever they want.
Really?
Well, I guess I missed out on that one. Then Ken decides to go back to Barbie Land and tell all the Kens about this patriarchy thing. Meanwhile, Barbie finds her owner, but for some reason the girl goes ballistic on her. She's like, I'm a horny teenager who doesn't know how life works, so instead of trying to do something useful, I'm gonna bully you even though you're just a fucking toy. After that, Barbie gets chased by men in suits who work for the corporation that owns her cause they wanna put her in a box.
A metaphor.
Luckily, that mean girl's mom saves her, and turns out that she was the one who played with her, gave her all that anxiety and midlife crisis crap. So together they go to Barbie Land and find out that boys took over the place. Now they're in charge of everything while Barbies just cook, clean, bring them beer and shit.
That's awesome!
After bitching and moaning for a while, the hot Barbie and the humans release all the Barbies from the shackles of patriarchy. Then they make Simp Ken be jealous for Shang-Chi Ken, so while Kens are fighting each other, they take back the Barbie Land. Barbies decide to rule the place fairly and equally. Kens are like, can we have equal rights? Shut the fuck up, Ken. You're a man. You have no right. All you have is a dick and balls. In the end, hot Barbie decides to become a human and goes to a gynecologist to get a vagina. We start off with Flash having his breakfast and saving a bunch of babies while Batman is chasing some terrorists in a Hummer. He almost gets the whole city killed with a biological weapon, but luckily Wonder Woman saves the day. Bruce admits that he's a narcissist, Barry admits that he's a virgin, then Diana is like, okay, I gotta go, bye nerds. Now Barry is trying to prove his dad's innocence for his mom's murder, but it doesn't work out, so he gets sad and runs really fast, which makes him go back in time.
Time travel!
He tells Bruce about the incident. Bruce is like, Barry, promise you're not gonna do some stupid shit. Yeah, sure, man. So Barry goes back in time for 20 years and puts a tomato can in his mom's shopping cart, which means she won't send his dad to supermarket, stay alone and get killed. I know it sounds stupid, and it probably is, but whatever. Some interdimensional purple thing punches Barry and he ends up in front of his house. His dad and mom are fine, everything is alright, but then turns out there's another, younger Barry out there, and this kid is a little bit retarded. I swear, if I hear that laugh one more time, I'm gonna swallow a bullet. So Barry for some reason decides to hang out with his younger self and makes him get hit by a lightning, which gives the retard powers but takes away his powers. Then General Zod arrives. Who? You know, the Kryptonian douchebag from Man of Steel. So Barry and Barry go visit Bruce Wayne, who's somehow super old here but still kicks ass. Then they fly to Russia to release Superman from prison, but he's not there cause some morons at Warner Bros. Decided to fire him.
What are you, fucking stupid?
So instead they find some chick who happens to be Clark's cousin. They ask her to help them stop Zod, but she's like, fuck humans, they put me in prison. I'ma go join Kryptonians. Holy shit, those Kryptonians are dicks. Okay, fine, I'll help you. Bruce electrocutes Barry so he gets back his powers. Then the Batman, the Flash, the retard Flash and the Supergirl go against Zod and his army. Bruce dies from an airplane accident. Supergirl punches Zod for a few times, but then he kills her.
Fuck.
So the two Barrys go back in time and try again. Supergirl gets stabbed, Batman kicks some Kryptonian ass but then also dies. No matter how many times they try, Zod wins. Basically without Superman they're fucked.
You're goddamn right.
Then a lot of weird shit happens, bunch of different universes collide into each other. Holy shit, it's Nicolas Cage. That purple thing from earlier turns out to be older version of young Barry. He accidentally kills young Barry so he himself dies. Then the original Barry realizes that this shit is way too confusing, so he travels past, takes that tomato can from his mom's shopping cart, hence letting her die, and goes back to the future. Things are normal again, everyone is the same, except Bruce Wayne, who's played by some no-name actor.
Who the fuck is this?
After annihilating a bunch of Russian mobsters cause some idiot decided to kill his puppy, then shooting the wrong guy's head in the wrong building cause some other idiot decided to ruin his retirement, the legendary assassin John Wick is back and he's continuing to be the biggest pain in the ass for the most powerful criminal organization in the world. Now, to make sure everyone knows that he's done f***ing around, John Wick goes ahead and casually executes the leader of the High Table. Obviously, the entire criminal underworld is after him by now, and of course they don't have enough men to do anything. So after killing more people than the bubonic plague, he who makes Terminator do his laundry decides to find a more diplomatic solution to his problems. Now, to end the mess he's been dealing with for 3 movies, John has to challenge this prick for a duel, but in order to be able to do that, he needs to be reinstated in his old crime family, and for that he needs to kill some fat bastard. Nope, not that one. Yeah, that's the guy. At this point, we all know that John Wick is so badass he can declare war to an entire country and win, which means all you gotta do is relax and watch how John massacres ton of people using fists, nunchucks, katanas, guns, shotguns, rifles, cars, and many other creative ways to spread love and kindness. After fighting the climate change by substantially reducing the world's population, he who forces Thanos to cook soup for him is finally ready to finish this shit once and for all. But the other guy is so afraid he'd rather have a blind man take part in a duel instead of him. And even then, it doesn't do much, cause just like all the other douchebag crime bosses that managed to piss off John Wick, he gets a well-deserved bullet in his head.
Headshot.
In the end, however sad it is to admit, death finally comes after John Wick. Or should I say, John Wick decides to go after death.
Yeah.
The film starts with the Guardians hanging out in their base, which is located inside of this big-ass head planet thing.
What the f*** is this piece of shit?
Then they get visited by some golden super cunt who seriously wounds Rocket but is forced to leave after Nebula shoves a melting sword in his ass. Now, to save the raccoon, Guardians have to break into this research lab and steal some data. Meanwhile, Rocket is in coma, so we see his origin story. And you know what? F*** this movie for making me, a grown-ass man, cry like a goddamn baby. I haven't cried since I stubbed my toe to the coffee table the other day. Anyway, Peter simps for 2014 Gamora.
Simp. You're a simp.
Drax and Mantis are being goofy as always, Gamora acts like a total douchebag, and Nebula is like, screw you all, you stupid retards. Eventually, Guardians end up going against this sick fuck named High Revolutionary or whatever, who's basically Adolf Hitler for animal abuse.
What an asshole!
The team manages to save Rocket, they have one of those kick-ass cinematic action moments, the good guys beat the bad guy, Star-Lord breathes fresh air in the outer space but gets saved by the golden Superman who decides to turn good. In the end, Rocket becomes the new captain, Drax learns to dance, Peter learns to let Gamora go, kinda like her old man. Then after all these years, he decides to visit his grandpa back on Earth, and I'm crying again like an idiot. What the hell is wrong with me? Meet Mario and Luigi, 2 Italian brothers who want to start their own plumbing company. While working in a sewage, they get sucked into some kind of interdimensional portal which takes Mario to this weird place called the Mushroom Kingdom.
Nice.
No, not that kind of mushroom, you pot-smoking hipster. It's a cartoon for kids.
Come on, man.
Anyway, the Mushroom Kingdom is ruled by Princess Peach, which is weird cause Peach is a fruit. The princess wants to protect her people from Bowser, a big evil fire-breathing turtle who has a crush on her and wants to conquer the world using this special artifact called Superstar. Yeah, plus he's pretty good at singing, I don't know why or how. Turns out that Mario's less fortunate brother Luigi was sucked into the Dark Lands and is captured by Bowser, so Mario decides to team up with Princess, stop the bad guy and save his brother. And while Bowser is torturing Luigi and tickling his mustache, Princess Peach teaches Mario some parkour and explains how to use mushrooms to his advantage. You know the drill. The red mushrooms make you big, the blue mushrooms make you small, and these mushrooms make you high. Now to stop the evil turtle they need an army of monkeys, but to get the army Mario has to defeat Donkey Kong. At first Donkey slaps the shit out of Mario, but then Mario eats the right mushroom, turns into a cat and defeats him.
Wait, what?
Look, I know it sounds retarded, but I'm not making this shit up, okay? Though I'm pretty sure whoever made it up definitely had too many mushrooms.
Shut up!
Alright, no more mushroom jokes, I promise. So everyone has an epic kart race on a rainbow, Bowser attacks the Mushroom Kingdom, Mario and Donkey Kong team up and save the day, then Bowser turns into a North Korean dictator and pushes the red button.
Boom.
At the end, Mario and Luigi use Bowser's Superstar to kick his ass, Princess shoves a blue mushroom into Bowser's ass, mouth, he eats it, so the bad guy becomes tiny and they lock him up in a pickle jar. Well, he'll probably stay until the sequel.
Ouch.
Meet Casey Lang, teenage daughter of Scott Lang. After reading a couple of notes from Hank Pym, she creates some kind of quantum device, which is totally something a teenager can do.
Your daughter built a subatomic Hubble telescope in a basement.
See, now that's some bullshit.
The quantum telescope sucks everyone into the quantum realm, and turns out that there's an entire universe in it with a bunch of sentient species, civilizations, and broccoli people.
Okay.
So Hank, his wife, and his daughter end up in this weird place that's like a bar or something, where Hank gets cucked by Bill Murray.
You serious?
Yeah, well, kinda. I mean, it's a long story, just forget it. Meanwhile, Scott and Casey, who got separated from the rest, get captured by a flying egg monster that calls himself MODOK, but turns out he's actually Darren.
Who?
You know, Darren Cross, the bad guy from the first movie. Do you remember him? No? Me neither. So Darren works for this dude called Kang, who's basically a super smart time-traveling megalomaniac that loves to conquer worlds and shit. Kinda like evil version of Rick Sanchez or Doctor Who. Now Kang is stuck in Quantum Realm and he needs his time engine to leave, so he politely threatens to kill Ant-Man's daughter if he doesn't get it for him. Scott gets the engine, then he's like, can I get back my incredibly annoying and unlikable daughter? But Kang is pissed off. He's like, fuck you, fuck your daughter, fuck everyone. Then, in accordance to the Marvel movie traditions, we see a giant CGI battle between Kang, his army, and everybody else, I guess? For some reason, MODOK does a complete 180 and attacks his boss. He's like, my name is Darren and I am not a dick. Then he blows up himself like an absolute dick.
That's just lazy writing.
So the good guys win, the bad guys lose, and Kang gets sucked into his time machine, which means he's dead. Probably. I mean, he's gotta be dead, right? Is he dead?
Yeah, a bit, but no, not really.
We start off with King Triton having an important meeting with his daughters. Then he realizes that his younger daughter Ariel is missing. Turns out she's chilling with her bodies and collecting some human shit. The king scolds her. He's like, I told you humans are bad. But dad, they're not that bad. Oh, shut up, bitch. I want to know more about them. They're awesome. Listen, people are the worst. They invented wars, mortgage, and that fucking TikTok thing. Really? Tell me more about TikTok. Get the fuck out of my sight. So Ariel goes to her cave and starts singing. Then she sees some fireworks. Turns out Prince Eric is having a party with his crew. But suddenly a storm begins and sinks the ship. Eric almost dies, Ariel saves him and starts singing. Again. Then Queen's men get there, so she hides behind a rock and continues singing. For fuck's sake, enough with the songs already. The king finds out about everything and gets pissed. He's like, I told you to stay away from humans. Why? Cause they'll hurt you, you dumb bitch. Is it because I'm a mermaid? Yes, and because you're black. Just promise you'll stay away from them. No. Okay. So the king blows up Ariel's shit and fucks off. Good job alienating your daughter, you dipshit. Meanwhile, Prince Eric is all excited. He wants to find that chick that saves his life, but his mom is like, you are grounded, young man. No more ships and sea voyages for you. But mom, go back to your room. So Eric gets sad and starts singing a song about how sad he is. God damn it, man. You too? We get it. You have a boner, your mom's being a cunt. You don't have to sing a whole ass song about it. Next up, we have Ariel being approached by her evil aunt Ursula. She's like, I can make you human for 3 days, but you gotta give me your voice. Awesome, let's do this. Wait, there's one more thing. If you don't get a guy to kiss you in 3 days, you're gonna be my bitch, like forever. Cool, I mean. Are you sure? This is a serious decision. Maybe you should consider. Look, you gonna make me a human or what? Alright. So Ursula does some magic and Ariel grows a pair of legs. Then she gets rescued by a fisherman who takes her to the castle. Good thing that bitch took her voice, at least she won't be singing.
Look at me suddenly, I am on land and I'm free.
Oh, great. She still sings, but with her mouth shut. Ariel gets washed and dressed, then she meets the prince. He tells her about traveling the world and shit. It seems that Eric is totally into her. I mean, can you blame the guy? A woman that doesn't speak? It's a fucking miracle. The next day, Prince Eric and Ariel go on a date where Ariel eats a flower. That reminds me of this other girl. Let's just hope this one doesn't shit in the bed. So this intelligent crab, along with a fish and a bird, who are all Ariel's homies, organize romantic evenings so that the prince can kiss her. The crab goes behind the prince and is like, yo prince, look at that fine ass bitch in front of you. Aren't you gonna kiss her? Come on man, don't be a pussy. So after some dancing and singing, they're both ready to make out. Meanwhile, all the animals are like, yeah, go on, give a little kiss, do it.
Do it! Do it! Do it!
But that whore Ursula turns over the boat and kills the vibe.
That is a cunt move.
The next day, Prince announces that he'll be proposing a girl. Ariel thinks it's gonna be her, but turns out there's another chick. So she gets super sad, she's like, I hate men. Then the bird sneaks into the palace and sees that the girl is actually Ursula and she's using magic to brainwash the prince. The gang goes to the castle, they attack that hoe, Ariel gets her voice back. She and the prince are about to kiss, but it's too late. Ariel turns back to a mermaid and Ursula takes her to the sea. Then she uses her as a leverage to get Aquaman's trident and and kills the king. After that she turns into a giant kaiju and terrorizes Prince Eric and Ariel. Ariel defeats Ursula by shoving a big ass ship into her chest, which subsequently brings her dad back to life. In the end, King Triton realizes that he was wrong, gives Ariel her legs and lets her go. Eric and Ariel get married and live happily ever after until a couple years later Eric dies from syphilis.
We start off with this kid Jamie who returns to his hometown after spending ton of money on a useless college degree. While taking a shit in some big ass mansion where he works as a janitor, he meets this chick Jane who's like super rich and reasonably hot. Turns out Jane's evil aunt Victoria has a weapon manufacturing company and she wants to use this alien artifact called Scarab to create super soldiers. Jane isn't very happy about it, so she steals the Scarab, gives it to Jamie and asks him to hide it for her. But the Scarab jumps on Jamie like a facehugger and turns into a super suit that can do all kinds of cool stuff like making a hole in the roof, cutting a bus in half, flying to space and kicking ass. Jamie's family is like, what the fuck, cabrón, pendeja, la puta madre. You know, they speak Mexican all the time because they're from Mexico. That's the language of Mexico, right? Wait a minute. Oh, Spanish. They speak Spanish. Okay, sorry.
I'm kind of retarded.
Anyway, first Jamie wants to get rid of the Scarab, so he and Jane do some research with the help of his Uncle Rudy, who's good with tech and shit. Uncle Rudy is actually pretty awesome. I mean, he was awesome, until he called Batman a fascist.
Batman's a fascist!
So turns out that the Scarab chose Jamie to be his host, and the only way to get rid of it is to be dead. So while Jamie is accepting his fate and learning to control his powers, that cunt Victoria abducts his family and uses them to capture him. Then she uses the Scarab to give the same powers to her henchman, this ugly ass dude. Meanwhile, Jane teams up with Jamie's La Familia, and together they use bunch of cool gadgets that her dad left her to release Jamie from captivity. Jamie's grandma, who turns out to be an absolute badass, massacres bunch of soldiers like a Terminator. Then Jamie fights that ugly dude and kicks his ass. After that, the dude has a change of heart and decides to blow up himself, killing that bitch Victoria with him.
Yes!
In the end, Jamie and Jane make out. I just have one question, guys. Who the fuck is Blue Beetle?
This guy is fucking stupid!
We start off with Maximals fleeing their home planet while it's being swallowed by Unicron, some kind of godlike planet-eating demon.
What the fuck is this piece of shit?
Now this dude Scourge, who's Unicron's henchman, is after the Transwarp Key, which is a device that allows you to open portals through space and time. Luckily, the Maximals take the key and head to this little blue planet called Earth. Cut to Brooklyn, New York. Ex-military Noah Diaz can't find a job, so he decides to steal a car for some cash. Turns out that the car is actually an Autobot and it gets called by Optimus, so the car drives to the meeting while Noah is locked in it. Then it turns into a giant robot and is like, yo, what's up? I'm Mirage, you feel me? Who the fuck are you? I'm an alien, bro, my man. Dude, homie, why do you sound like a retard? Okay, I'm kidding. So all the Autobots arrive and turns out that they've detected a signal from the key, which is being experimented by this archaeologist chick Elena in a nearby museum. They ask Noah to go get it for them, but Noah says fuck no. Then Mirage is like, pretty please? Okay, fine. Yeah, now that's my nigga. So Noah sneaks into the museum, he and Elena play some tag. Then Scourge gets there, kicks everybody's asses, kills Bumblebee, takes the key and fucks off. But apparently it was only the first half of the key and the second one is somewhere in Peru. So they get there, Elena and Noah do some Tomb Raider shit but don't find anything. Turns out Maximals have the second half of the key and they're hiding it in the forest. Autobots and Maximals meet up, hang out together for a while, but Scourge tracks them down, takes the second half of the key and fucks off again.
God damn it!
So while he's opening a portal that will bring his fat ass master to Earth, Autobots and Maximals attack. Meanwhile, Mirage, Noah and Elena sneak behind the enemy lines to shut down the key. We see some action, some more action, a lot of action actually. Hell yeah, Bumblebee's back from dead. Love this guy. Mirage takes on Scourge and he's dead. But his body turns into an Iron Man suit for Noah so that he won't be useless. Then Optimus goes against Scourge and this time he's really pissed. Scourge asks for reinforcement from his daddy like a little bitch, so Unicron sends some Amazon packages through the portal. Then Prime is like, fuck you, you piece of shit. Here, have some melting lava. You like it? Meanwhile, Elena is trying to close the portal on an alien computer which is conveniently human size. She almost succeeds, but then Scourge shoots the computer and nearly kills her. Optimus goes into beast mode. He's like... Then he decapitates Scourge and turns him into a metal scrap. Now that the computer doesn't work, Prime decides to destroy the key manually. Unicron is like, please bro, I'm hungry. Then eat this, motherfucker. Everything gets sucked into a wormhole, Noah saves Optimus, then the gorilla Prime saves them both. In the end, they stand in a line and look at the sunset. This sexy robot chick is like, hey Optimus, what should I do if the King Kong over there decides to rape me?
Let him come.
1944, Indiana Jones kicks some German ass and steals an ancient artifact known as the Dial of Destiny, which is a clock built by Archimedes that makes time travel possible. Yeah, basically it's a time machine. 25 years later, Indy is an old fart who's sad, lonely, and divorced. He's approached by a lady with a big-ass nose who happens to be his goddaughter Helena Shaw. They talk about the Dial of Destiny. Indy shows it to her, so she steals it from him and flies to Morocco.
That is a cunt move.
Turns out this evil German gentleman with glasses who calls himself Schmidt is also after the dial. Look, I know his name is actually Voller, but I'm gonna call him Schmidt because it sounds better. He wants to use the dial to get back in time and kill the mustache guy.
I like that for some reason.
Well, actually he wants to do that so that Germans can win the war.
Shit.
So Schmidt and his men chase Indiana, but he rides a horse through subway and gets away. Cut to Morocco where Helena wants to sell the dial in an underground auction. First Indy gets there, then Schmidt arrives with his men.
You stole it. Then you stole it. I hate capitalism.
Schmidt gets the dial, Indy and Helena chase him on mopeds but he gets away. These two exchange some compliments, she calls him old and useless, he calls her a hoe, then she's like, actually I'm resourceful, daring, beautiful and self-sufficient.
Keep telling yourself that, darling.
Now apparently the dial is just a piece of the artifact and there's a map underwater that can lead to the other piece. So Indy's friend who has a boat helps them to get the map, but unfortunately Schmidt gets there too. Wait, is that Antonio Banderas? And he's dead. Indy and Helena take the map and escape. She's like, yeah, that was awesome. They just killed my friend. Oh, sorry about that. So they go to Sicily and recover the second piece of the dial, but Schmidt follows them again and takes it away. Now that he has the both pieces, he assembles the Dial of Destiny, takes Indy as a hostage and flies a plane through a magical portal in the sky. But instead of getting to World War II, they end up in a siege of Syracuse 212 BC. Helena secretly sneaks into the plane and her little friend Ted, who for some reason knows how to pilot, flies another plane through the portal. The Romans somehow manage to shoot down the German airplane with their spears, and just so you know, the plane has a freaking machine gun on it.
See, now that's some bullshit.
Indy and Helena jump with a parachute, but the rest of the Germans crash. They meet Archimedes. Indiana wants to stay there and hang out with him, but Helena knocks him the fuck out and takes home. Meet Dante, a psychotic Brazilian gangster who looks like Aquaman if Aquaman was a gay cocaine addict. You see, about 10 years ago, Dominic and his gang stole Dante's money and killed his dad. It was clearly an accident. And they didn't mean to hurt anyone. But now Dante's out for revenge.
Where's my shit? I want my shit back.
He starts off by stealing some shit from Cypher.
Who?
Cypher, you know, the bad girl from the other movie. She killed Dom's side chick and threatened to kill his son. They blew up a submarine in that one. Anyway, Dante rolls a big ass bomb through Rome and almost blows up the Vatican. Luckily, good old Toretto saves the day when he decides to play soccer using his car and that bomb ball thing. Meanwhile, the laws of physics are like, shit. Dante has a street race with Dom and a bunch of other guys where he wins by blowing up all his opponents. Well, a win is a win, I guess. After that, Dante manages to get his hands on a super sci-fi bullshit device that lets you find anyone you want. I forgot what that thing was called, something like God's middle finger or Leprechaun's left ass cheek, whatever. So Dominic is like,
One last ride for a while.
Then he says his thing.
I grew
The other thing.
family.
Family.
The Brazilian psycho is like, Dominic, and he does that move with his tongue. No, the one that kids do to mock each other. Yes, so basically this guy kinda wants to kill Dom's family, but not really kill them cause he's playing games. He wants him to suffer or something. I mean, I don't know, man. Have you tried torturing? I would recommend a good old torture with sharp tools. People say it's pretty good. Definitely better than all this convoluted bullshit, but you do you, I guess. Now, Dante kidnaps Dominic Jr. We see Dom pull 2 helicopters with his car and crash them into each other.
Well, you're right.
In the end, Toretto manages to get his son, but Dante wants to squeeze him between 2 tracks, so Dominic drives off the edge of a dam and slides down while the tracks are falling after him? The film ends with Dante saying fuck it and blowing up the whole dam while Dominic is under it. After defeating the magic Vin Diesel and 7 deadly scenes, Billy Batson aka Shazam and his little family of other Shazams are doing regular hero stuff in Philadelphia. But then a new threat arises. They call themselves Daughters of Atlas. This is Hespera, Anthea, and that's Calypso. Basically, these are ancient Greek goddesses that are supposed to be sisters, even though one of them looks super old, the other one's super young, and the third one is Asian? So the daughters of Atlas are butthurt because of some shit that happened long time ago, and that's why they want to take away the children's powers, and for that they steal the wizard's magic stick and even bring its owner back to life. You remember the wizard, right? Old, angry, and with shitty attitude? Good. The evil sisters also want to get their hands on this little thing called Golden Apple from the Tree of Life, cause that can somehow restore the kingdom of gods. After a little back and forth, all the kids lose their powers except Billy. Anthea has a change of heart cause she's in love with Freddy, even though he's underage and she's in her mid-4000s, which is technically illegal, but whatever. Calypso loses her shit and kills Hespera. I don't know why, probably cause she realized she was adopted or something. Then she rides a big ass dragon and unleashes bunch of monsters on Philadelphia. So while the kids are riding unicorns to fend off those monsters, Billy goes in for a final boss fight. After an epic showdown, he manages to defeat the dragon lady by sacrificing himself. People are sad, everyone is crying, but then Wonder Woman shows up and brings Billy back to life, which is apparently something she can do.
Well, you're right.
So Billy wants to properly thank Wonder Woman for saving him, if you know what I mean. But Diana says she's already dating Black Adam, so...
Loser.
Yeah, in the end, the wizard finally takes some shower and dresses up like a pimp for some reason.